Hello YouTube, welcome back to the channel. Thanks a lot for tuning in. I know it's been a while since I've put up a video, and due to popular demand, I wanted to do one on this, and I put up a message, a status message over on the Facebook page the other day, basically saying that I came across this really cool graphical graphical interface for PACMAN, and it's okay, that it's true, and that's what it is. But it's not comprehensive, but it does give you a graphical way of doing like your updates and installing and removing programs. So, which is essentially what most people are going to want PACMAN for. It also has a pretty neat feature where it allows you to clean up your installation, where it'll take out like orphans and stuff that that is packages that are no longer in use. It'll pull those out for you, which is actually kind of cool, and I'll cover that here in just a little bit. So I know you guys are really wondering, okay, well, what is it? And that's the thing, I didn't tell you what it was in the status message. Okay, well, the name of the program is Pamac. If you've I don't know if you've ever heard of it. I know it was new to me. I wasn't familiar with it, and then I decided I was going to try it out, and played around with it for a little bit, and kind of found out that okay, this is pretty cool. This actually works out really well, and especially for like new people coming over that are relatively new to Arch, I still recommend learn how to use PACMAN in the terminal. But at the same time, PACMAN and Yourt, you definitely want to learn those in the terminal. But at the same time, just for convenience sake, this is actually a pretty cool program. So let's go ahead and talk about Pamac a little bit, and I'll go ahead and show you how to do the install and where to find it. You do have to install it. It's located in the AUR. That's the Arch Linux User Repository. And in the AUR, to install anything out of the AUR, you're going to want to use Yourt. Okay, and if you're unfamiliar with Yourt, I'll put a card up and to a video that I did showing how to install it, because you will need it in order to install Pamac. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll put a card up, and it'll pop up right now up here, and then you can watch that video if you don't have it already. If you already have it, then let's go ahead and move forward. If not, then just come back to this video after you've got it installed. Okay, so that being said, let's go ahead and let's open up Yourt, which you need a terminal, so open up a terminal. And in KDE, we call it console. And all you're going to do is you're going to type in Yourt, Y-A-O-U-R-T. And I had a one of my subscribers actually said that he had changed Yourt to yogurt because it is a weird word. It's a difficult word to say sometimes. So yeah, I got a real kick out of that. Anyway, that's back on the Yourt video, and you'll see that comment in there. It's pretty funny. But yeah, I was cracking up. Anyway, but so you'll use Yourt, and the package is Pamac, P-A-M-A-C-AUR. Now you want the AUR version because it will enable you to update your AUR installed packages. So that's what you want. Now remember also, if you're I'm just pointing this out, if you're using Yourt, don't sudo Yourt. Okay, you don't grant it permissions right off the bat. Just type in Yourt. Don't put sudo in front of it. Okay, just as a means of security and safety. So we'll go ahead and hit enter, and we'll go ahead and look up Pamac-AUR in Yourt. And well, that's taking a minute, but okay, here it is right here, and that is the one that you're going to want. Okay, it's a GTK3 front end for, it says libalpm. Okay, it works fine with PACMAN, so don't worry about that. It does work, and I'll show it to you here momentarily. So from here, if you've not ever used Yourt, all you have to do here is, you see it's got a number 1 next to it, and if you do a search for something, you may get a longer list with a lot of different items in it, and they will all be numbered. You just put in the number of the package that you want to install. In this case, it would be 1. So you just type in 1, hit enter. I'm not going to go through the entire process of installing something from the AUR. The whole point in this right here was just make sure you got the right one. Okay, but I'll touch on just a couple things here for people that are brand new. Just a couple things. Like as an example, if you don't know how to do any of the scripting or anything like that. There's really no point in editing anything at this point. So if you see an edit, if you fall into that category, okay, and you see an edit, just hit no, or the N key. Here's another edit, hit N, and then when you see continue, then just hit enter, okay, which is yes by default. So then it'll go through and it'll do the download, and then you'll see, again, it'll go through. You may have to put in your password. When it comes time to actually installing packages, you're going to have to give it permission, so expect that. Expect to be asked for your password, okay? Because, again, you don't sudo Yowert. This is why. It's a safety-related issue. So, like here's continue installing Pamac AUR. I'm just going to hit enter, and then there. See, now, because it's actually wanting to do the install now, you'll put in your password, and then it'll go, okay? I've already got mine installed, so I'm not going to go through it again. So, like for you though, on a fresh install, like I said, if you're not real familiar with this, or not interested in doing any scripting or anything like that, or going in and making any changes, you don't have to edit anything. So when you see an edit, just hit no. When you see continue installing, then go ahead and allow it to do it. Okay, and put your passwords in when you have to. Here's another little tidbit. I'm gonna hit Control C to get out of this, and that's one way you can close off a script that's running. And I'm going to do it again, Control C, and then you'll see now I'm back here to my prompt. Okay, so go ahead and install Pamac, and what you're going to see when you're done installing Pamac, go ahead and pause the video if you need to, but what you're going to see when you're done installing it is if you go over here to your application launcher, down to applications, go all the way down to system. This is where it's located. And in system, click on it, and you're going to see two new entries. We've got this one that says add or remove software installed on the system, and then this one down here where it says update software installed on the system. Okay? These are your two Pamac installations. Okay? They do two different things. This one here will update, and this one here is if you're looking to install something, you can use that one. I'll probably cover this one in a different video, because I'll be quite honest with you, I haven't used it yet. I haven't installed any software through the graphical user interface. I will do that on another video and show you how to do that as soon as I can think of something that I actually want to install. All right, but I will show you the update part of it, even though I don't have an update. So if you look down here, this is the Pamac tray. This is gray. It's like a gray star. Well, the thing is, there's nothing for me to update right now. That's why it's gray. If there's actually something for me to update, that will turn red. And that's a great little notification to let you know, hey, there's updates available. But there's not right now. I'm sorry. Arch Linux just hasn't had an update for me in a couple days. But I did want to go ahead and get the video out. Anyway, let's go ahead and open this up. Go back over here, system. And you can see I've actually put it down. I put them down here. Which you can add, you can add, programs or quick launches if you want to call it that, to your panel down here at the bottom. If you don't know how to do that, let me know, and I'll shoot a quick video and show you how to do that. But let's go ahead and click on the update version. Now you see how the cursor's doing its thing. That's it doing its check, or doing a quick check. It says my system is up to date, which it is right now. And I verified that by actually going into the terminal and using PACMAN and tried to do an update there, and it told me there was nothing to do. So yeah, there's just nothing to update right now, I guess, and we haven't had an update for a few days. Like I like to think of that as kind of a good sign. It means everything's running pretty well, So anyway, so if you open up the window, typically what you're going to find here is you're going to find a list. If you have stuff to update, it'll be listed here. And all you'll have to do is click like the apply button down here at the bottom, and it will go ahead and start the install. You will have to put in your password, okay? Because it's just like PACMAN. When you go to do your update, it asks you for a password, so that it can, because you're making changes to your installation. So anytime you make changes to your installation, it requires permissions to do that. So anyway, so that's typically what you're going to find in here. You'll find the list of things that need to, packages that need to be updated, and then you'll go ahead and click on this, or click on like apply, I think is what it says, and then it'll go through and it'll do it for you automatically. It's pretty cool. You'll end up getting like there'll be a little, I think it says details, if I'm not mistaken. That's what it says, details over here. If you click on that, it'll actually open up like a small terminal window, I'm pretty sure, and then it'll actually show you what's going on, which is kind of nice. I like that, so I can actually see what's happening. But let's talk about the preferences real quick. If you click on these three lines, that's of course the menu. Go down here to preferences, and then you're gonna have to put in your password. So let me go ahead and do that real quick. One of the first things I'm going to recommend you do is go over here to where it says AUR, and here's how I have mine set up. Yours, you do it entirely how you want to. I have mine set to check for updates from the AUR, and do not ask for confirmation when building packages. That's the one where it says edit, and it's asking you if you want to edit, or it's asking you if you want to continue. If you check this, you don't have to deal with any of that, which is nice. You'll just have to put in your password when you actually do the install, and that works out pretty well. So do your due diligence. So on anything you install from the AUR, make sure that there's not been anything bad, or just get an idea of what you're installing on your computer and whether or not you feel like it would be safe to do so. Okay, so there's your disclaimer, and that's definitely a little reminder. Safety first always. I don't typically install a lot of stuff out of the AUR. I do some, not a lot. Now, I don't search the AUR by default. Typically I would rather install something out of the repository, the official repositories, again, for safety's sake, rather than, instantly going over to the AUR and installing whatever. Usually I'll search for something in the repository, and if I can't find it there, then I will check the AUR, see if it's there, see if there's something there. If it is, then I'll go through and I'll research it a little bit before I actually do the install. It's just a matter of seeing if it's there. So by default, I don't want to search the AUR. I will do that as a secondary step. That's me. You do it how you want to, and that's, of course, what that is. But this is how I have mine set up, and definitely you want to enable AUR support. When you're doing an update, that's kind of nice. That way it will update also, packages that you've installed from the AUR that are not in the official repositories. You can click on this tab, use mirrors from, and this says worldwide, and I got nothing else, so I guess it's just worldwide. Sort mirrors by speed, and you can refresh your mirror list, just like this. It's just refreshing and making sure it's getting the freshest list of what's available in the repositories. Okay, so this is actually taking a little bit longer than than I thought it would, but you can obviously see that it works there. So we're getting the new mirror list is what it is. So, all right, so we're good. Okay, so anyway, over here in general, remove unrequired dependencies. I kind of talked about this a little while ago. There's a script that you can run, a command you can run in PACMAN that functions really well to go through and clean up like orphans, packages and dependencies that just they're unneeded anymore. So by turning this feature on, it will automatically do that for you, and I just think that's awesome. The other thing is this will also, you can set basically like a cron job where this will go through and it will automatically do a search and check for an update, based on however what frequency you want it to do it. So for me, I've got it set every other hour. It's going to check for updates. You can put this up, make this 24 if you only want it to check once a day. Probably when you first log on, it'll do the check. That's more than sufficient for a lot of people. I like, me, the latest and the greatest, and I want it right now. I actually had this set to every hour at one point when I first put it in, just a day or two ago, or 2 days ago, I think it was. But I've since gone to 2 hours, and I may turn that up to 12 hours. Maybe I'll just have it checked twice a day. I don't know. But this is, again, personal preference, and you definitely want to turn it on, check for updates. Okay. You can hide the tray icon when no update is available. That basically is this thing here. And you know what? I think I will turn that on. See how it disappeared now? So, yeah. So that's... Oh, you can actually type in ignore updates for. So if there's something that you don't want to update for whatever reason, if we know that there's a package that's broken and you don't want to update it, then you can probably put it in this list, and that would probably work out pretty cool. That's a neat feature too. Okay, good. So anyway, so that's how this works. Like I said, I wish I had something to show you, but apparently Arch and KDE are running like a well-oiled machine right now, and it is actually running pretty well. I've not really run into any severe issues. Oh, the bug I was telling you, what I was going to tell you about in this, I did notice this, that the very first time that I used it, and I did an update, it was the only time I have with this, I did an update, and it was having a really hard time with one of them, and I typed in, it asked me for my password, I typed in my password, and it didn't accept it. And then on the next line, it, instead of having my username, it actually had super user. So I had to change to my super user password, which I didn't like. I really didn't care for that. So what I ended up doing, because of that, was a little bug that I found, but it was only that one. Seemed like the other ones were okay. Anyway, what I did instead is on that one package, I went through and did it through PACMAN, and it was fine, through the terminal, and then I didn't have any problems after it. So you may run into that once in a while as a means of security. If you run into that and it doesn't accept your username password, and it's actually asking for a super user password, don't type it in. Just this is why I say this is a good idea to have it set up, or make sure that you have the skill to do an update through the terminal if you have to. If you run into that problem, don't even. It's not worth putting in your main super user password, your admin password or whatever. No, I don't recommend that at all. Just do it through PACMAN through the terminal, and just type in your normal password, because PACMAN in itself will never ask you for a super user password. So that was very surprising to me that did. So I don't know if that was a bug or a glitch, but that's something I wanted to make you aware of. Other than that, like I said, it all works, pretty much just interfaces with PACMAN as far as, getting the stuff updated, and it's fine. And again, what this does, this will actually go through and do the install, and do the updates for the AUR, which is huge. PACMAN doesn't do that, but this little thing will. So hopefully this has helped you out a lot. It's a neat program. I think you'll like it, especially for people that are coming over, or relatively new to Arch Linux. I think this will come in really, really handy. If, again, like I said, that was the only issue I had with it, is that it did ask me for, and it said SU, : and it was asking for a super user password, and that raised a red flag to me. That's just me. Safety first, right? Security first. So if you happen to run across that, just do that first update or whatever through the terminal using PACMAN, and do it the regular way, which I show you how to do that in another video. So if you don't know how to do that, then you need to watch that video. Anyway, okay, so hopefully this has helped out. Guys, I want to thank you for stopping by and checking out the video. I also, let me go ahead and close this out. I also want to invite you over to visit us on the web, BahamutOS.com. Definitely come over to the Facebook page, which I'll put all the links down below, and like the page if you would, please. Like the page on Facebook, and go ahead and follow us on Twitter so that you can stay up to date. I plan on putting up some other videos. Let me know also, this is a great way to shoot me messages and let me know what kinds of things you would like to see. If you're new to Arch, or you're getting ready to come into Arch and you have some concerns, let me know what that is so that I can make, so I know what kind of videos you'd like to see. Okay? And that would actually help everybody out, because if you've got the question, chances are they do too, or there's other people that also will have that question. So just definitely let me know. And one of the best ways to do that is through Facebook or Twitter. Okay? So I really appreciate that. Thanks a lot, and stay tuned for future videos.